Welcome to another episode of Healing Through Love. Each week, we share ideas, experiences, and resources to increase the awareness of domestic and family violence and to empower survivors to grow and thrive. We talk with experts who share their advice, or with people who have experienced abuse, no matter where they are on their journey. This is all about healing through love. And now, here are your hosts, Sharlene Lynch and Rose Davidson.
The Healing Through Love podcast with host Sharlene Lynch and Rose Davidson would love to acknowledge Global Glamping Charities Incorporated for generously supporting this podcast. Global Glamping Charities, solving homelessness in all of its forms. Reach out to them at globalglamping.org. The Healing Through Love podcast with Sharlene Lynch and Rose Davidson. Rosemary Kelly speaks to us about the benefits of changing your negative subconscious beliefs to empowering beliefs to transform your life in episode 50.
Exactly right. It isn't one size fits all. And that's what I really try to do when I see my client. I really listen to their story, look for patterns, see what's going on, see what they've done before, what helped, what didn't help. So I look at everything. And sometimes I use some Bankston healing with them. We look at thoughts, subconscious thoughts, to see if there's some resistance there, kind of what they were told as children, and that has stuck, and there's a negative tape running in the background that I can help them change. So they just feel so much more empowered and so much more
It's
control.
a truly holistic view.
The Healing Through Love podcast with Sharlene Lynch and Rose Davidson.
Hello and welcome to the Healing Through Love podcast. I'm your host, Sharlene Lynch from sharlenelynch.com. Healing Through Love is here to help victims and survivors of domestic and family violence find their way back to living a more fulfilling and meaningful life. We interview experts and survivors who share their personal stories and offer advice to those who have experienced abuse, no matter where they are on the healing journey. As well as the Healing Through Love podcast, we hold annual Pamper Days here in Adelaide, South Australia. For survivors of domestic and family violence, local businesses come together and pay it forward, providing their services and resources for the day to give these survivors a much-deserved day of indulgence. Think day spa on steroids, and we have one coming up in Wollonga at a healing retreat. We're very excited about that. We're also excited that Healing Through Love has now gone global, and we are bringing these services to a city, to a town, to a suburb near you. If you are a healer wherever you are in the world and you feel a calling to make a difference and hold space just even for one day for survivors, please reach out to us. We have a networking event coming up in a few weeks. We will make sure that the links are everywhere, but contact us and we'll tell you when the next opportunity is so that you can dive in and learn more how you can pay it forward. We're looking for organisations and people of similar values. Please get in touch with us. You can find us everywhere. It's hello@healingthroughlove, so htlaustralia.org. Check out our website and check out us on Facebook and LinkedIn. We're everywhere. It's lovely to have you here today, and we've got a very special guest with us today. We have Rosemary Kelly. She has a master's degree in transpersonal studies, a bachelor's degree in sociology and nutrition. She's the owner of Empowered Living, a registered dietitian, and the preferred Psych K facilitator, life coach, and so much more. Hello and welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's such a pleasure, and I can just feel your beautiful energy radiating through the screen. It's such a warm, comfortable, almost a cloud. I love it. You surround people with beautiful healing frequency. I'd love to know, this is such an eclectic group of healing technologies. How did you get here? What is the story that drove you to spend so much time, effort, and energy on these modalities?
Yeah, several years ago, excuse me, both my husband and I were really very ill. We went to several physicians and specialists, and nobody could really tell us what was going on. And it was a very disempowering feeling because we were both so ill, and we had a young son at the time. And my husband had to reduce his hours. He was working part-time. I actually was a full-time homemaker at the time, but I was just struggling to get out of bed and get to the kitchen and into the bathroom. So we were both very, very ill, and we thought something's got to be going on. And they did all kinds of blood tests. Nothing showed up. So I thought, well, I think we better look at some alternative practitioners and see if we can figure out what's going on. It took a really long time, but we finally were diagnosed with Lyme disease. And we were treated by a naturopath, actually diagnosed us and treated us. And I got better first. And then my husband, it took him longer. The journey for him was like 5 years. Mine was a year and a half. So it was a long journey, but we're both now well.
For people in Australia, this is well, we don't have Lyme disease here in Australia. So this is from a tick, which you can pick up by walking through the woods or well, not forest, but probably the woods. It can come from an animal, and it is rife in all of America, especially, is it the Midwest, across the band through the middle?
Yeah, and in the Northeast where I live is really, really flourishing with ticks. Yeah.
So in Australia, an equivalent might be Ross River fever, which we get from mosquitoes, where, you know, your entire immune system drops down, where you feel terrible, and there's nothing that points to why you would feel so terrible. You just have a lower immune system, lower energy, and it just like takes the love out of you. Is that right?
Right. That is exactly right. Day after day, I just thought, can I just leave my body for a little while, or can I just teleport to the future? And one day I can remember being in my dining room, and my mind was just so busy. And I just kind of thought about what I had learned at Edgar Cayce's Atlantic University when I was studying transpersonal psychology, and how I had learned mind is the builder. And I interpreted that as I need to quiet my mind so I can hear what my spirit is trying to tell me. And that's when guidance started to come to me. And I had a homeopathic remedy in my cupboard that my naturopath had given me. And at the time when she gave it to me, I was afraid to take it because some things had made me sicker. But I got a really strong guidance that said, go to your cupboard, get that remedy, and start taking it. So I did. And that was the beginning of me getting better. So I thought, I learned in that moment how powerful quieting your mind is, and how powerful intuition is. It can really guide us to the right path. So, once we were better, my husband returned to full-time work, I started caring for my son again, going into the school. But I vowed at that moment, okay, when my son is grown, I'm going to find some transpersonal approaches that I can use to help other people, because I saw how helpful they were to me. So, to make a long story short, I have a young adult son now. And I was actually looking at transpersonal coaching, and I came across Psych K, and thought that was the perfect fit for me, because it is transpersonal. It works in calming your mind and helping you find peace. And then I found Bankston healing method around the same time. And again, I thought, oh, wow. You know, this is healing so many people. And it's an alternative approach, dealing with intention and energy. So I thought, this is perfect. Again, this is perfect for me. And I am a registered dietitian. again, though, so much of that is healing and quieting the mind and finding that peace to make healthy choices. It is, I think when I was in school, we were told it was an easy thing, calories in, calories out. Well, it's not that easy. There's a lot going on. It's much more complicated than that. And there's healing involved. So Bankston and Psych-K, all those things come in handy for me when I'm working as a dietitian as well.
It's so true. And, you know, we've got people with different challenges. We've got people that need to put on weight, whether they've got a failure to thrive or whether it be that they have a disease or a disorder, or we've got people that, and I'm looking at people my age, I'm 56, you know, we have to put extra time, effort and energy just to keep the few kilos off because hormones have changed and so has lifestyle. We're not running around after children anymore. So yeah, it isn't just a simple formula because the body changes. And so we do need to have that education. And what I've noticed, I don't know, back me up, Rosemary, is that what they teach us in the media is not exactly accurate, or it's not a cut and paste approach. It really needs to be more bespoke for individuals, their own metabolic rate, their own lifestyle, their own frequency, that you need to eat what's right for your body.
Exactly right. It isn't one size fits all. And that's what I really try to do when I see my client. I really listen to their story, look for patterns, see what's going on, see what they've done before, what helped, what didn't help. So I look at everything. And sometimes I use some Bankston healing with them. We look at thoughts, subconscious thoughts, to see if there's some resistance there, kind of what they were told as children, and that has stuck, and there's a negative tape running in the background that I can help them change. So they just feel so much more empowered and so much more
It's
control.
a truly holistic view of the healing. Yeah. So
Exactly.
it's not just what you stick in your mouth, it's all of the thought processes. If you're going to eat something maybe that you shouldn't be and just keep telling yourself off, well, that's going to change the frequency of the food. And
Exactly.
research has
Or
shown
if you're angry when you're eating, not a real good thing, because the food picks up that energy again, and you don't want to be ingesting that.
it's true. They've now proven something that we all already knew, but they've just now proven that their frequency of the molecules are changed in food when you pray over it. So we've been doing it for centuries, but now science has just caught up to prove that the frequency of the molecules, the vibration of the molecules changes of the food when you pray over it. So, you know, it's not just about eating the food. It's about the whole thing. Yes, because it is nourishment. I love it. So this is a very unique, holistic approach to healing through diet. And all of the things around that with the thought process of the Psych-K and the energy healing that you do as well. That's amazing. So how do you generally work with clients? Is it face-to-face or is it online?
I'm doing everything remote right now. It is online. With Psych-K, there is muscle testing involved, but I act as the surrogate. And that does work. I know it's a little bizarre sounding that my body actually can plug into somebody else's and be accurate in muscle testing, but it really does work. Psych-K,
we do it as an example, Rosemary, because our listeners, our viewers, not so much our listeners, so we'll tell you what we're doing, listeners. We'll be able to see. This is fascinating, and I have been in this mix for, well, more than 3 decades, and it wasn't until COVID happened that we found different ways to do muscle testing when we couldn't have clients in front of us, when we needed to have clients online because we couldn't see our client even if they were next door to us, and this became the new normal. So if you haven't seen this is a very unique process. Rosemary, can you and I do a demonstration? Can you muscle test me for, I don't know, pick something. Tell me what you want to do.
Yeah. Why don't we do, because what Psych-K does, we test for what your subconscious believes. So we could pick something, a statement, and see if your subconscious believes it. Do you have anything that you might want to test out, or do you want me to give you something?
Oh, give me something.
Okay, let's see, what can we say? Why don't you say, you want to test to see if your subconscious believes that you're worthy? I am worthy.
Okay, yes, I love that. Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so I'm going to do my little thing here to ask for permission if I can be. So you're going to see me doing some weird things, putting my eyes down and muscle testing here. But then I'm going to have you say, so I'll tell you when I'm plugged into your energy. Okay. Okay, I'm plugged in. My name is not Rosemary anymore. So I'm going to have you say, and when you say it, have your eyes looking down, kind of like at your cheeks and side of your nose, and say with conviction, I am worthy. And we'll see what we get.
I am worthy. I am worthy.
Very good. I got a very strong yes response. It was really strong, so that's good. Yeah. Now, if that had been weak, we would do a Psych K balance.
I love it.
Start to feel, we could start to change that. So you would start believing, I am worthy.
And the difference, listeners and viewers, is that when you feel that you come from a place of worthy, then you're have an aligned frequency to the outcome, and things just manifest at the speed of light, literally. So I'm going to give you an example. We've had a federal change in budget just recently, and that's meant that some services to people who really need them have been pulled from the federal budget. And I'm a little bit concerned about that, because I know that these services really impact people, especially marginal people, who is where my heart is to serve. And so I just, have been just for the last couple of days thinking something needs to happen. Then out of the blue, a federal MP, which is exactly who I need to speak to, rang me yesterday, out of the blue.
Wow.
So when you hold that level of frequency, then the universe takes care of the details. Universe, God, whatever it is that you want to call, it just manifests. It just happens. And that comes. And this is the work that Rosemary does, is helps you get to that place where you feel worthy, where you can move through, where you can heal yourself just by how you change your thought processes and having a different level of awareness around what's happening in your body. It's very, very powerful techniques that she's using. I love it. Thanks, Rosemary, for that example. That was beautiful.
A lot of fun. Yeah. And I love what you just said, because that's what I tell my clients in Psych K is I want them to expect change, but not to try to figure out how it's going to happen or have the outcome and really like, oh, it's going to happen this way. Just kind of let flow, let the universe figure it out. We have the subconscious and the conscious mind aligned, and let it unfold. I usually say, just kind of let it unfold.
I love it. It's so true, Rosemary, because while we're still trying to hang on to the dreaded hows on how things are going to happen, is we are reducing that speed to manifestation. We're reducing that speed for healing. We're just slowing everything down because we are getting in our own way on every level. So if we can just set the intention and then come from a place knowing that it is happening and let it go, then it will take care of itself. But the more you spend, you're shutting it down every time you dig it into the house. So I love Abraham Hicks has a beautiful example of this. And this is when their business was picking up and they were starting to have lots more speaking gigs. And in the morning, as they'd sit down to a diner and have breakfast, on the back of the placemat. So Australian listeners, in America, they have paper placemats. It's like a thing in the diners. So turns it over and it's blank on the side, on the back. And so writes down the things that she's going to do today. So a genuine to-do list. Yep. Has a line through the middle of the placemat. And on the other side, what the universe is going to do. So basically, these are the things that still need to happen, but she doesn't need to take care of them. And when you can divide up your to-do list into things that you know that you can get done, and then for whatever other reason, whether it be your team or the universe just taking care of the details, if you can just write it on there and just send it energy, thank you, and just let it be, it is magical. It works.
is.
It's how I get so much done every day. Just
right. Right. And the interesting thing is too, with the Bankston energy healing, that's also a manifestation tool. It's we cycle images, and it has to be things that we really want. And there are some people that learn that what Bill or Dr. Bankston calls image cycling, specifically for manifestation. So another way to manifest, it's really interesting. Healing and manifestation seems to go together.
Wow, yeah, because when you raise your frequency, both are true. Manifestation comes easy, and healing is almost instant, because for you to hold those frequencies of the disease and disorder, you need to be vibrating at a lower frequency. Raise your frequency. They're not a match to that virus. They're not a match to that bacteria. They're not a match to that disease and disorder. And your frequency shift heals the body. So this is what prayer is about. Just saying, it's a frequency shift. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So I love it. This is a fascinating conversation, Rosemary. I could chat with you all day, but I do want to ask, now you explained that you do work with clients online, but how does someone, if they're curious about working with you, what happens? How does that work?
Okay, usually what I do is schedule a consult, and I try to find out what they're looking for, the potential client, and what they're hoping to gain from seeing me. So I ask a lot of questions, let them ask questions, and kind of see what's going on in their life, what changes they want to see in their life. And then we decide if it's a good match. And if it is, we move forward and decide which modality they want to try first, or more than one. I kind of leave that up to them. Or we may start out with Site K and then move to Bankston, or depending on what's going on and what they want to try. So I really let my clients really decide how they want to proceed. They're in charge. I'm the facilitator. My job is really just to hold space and guide them, but I really listen to what they want.
I love it. I love it. Now, listeners, if you could hear in between the words that Rosemary was saying there, and what she's doing is she's helping the people that she heals have faith in their own intuition. And she's teaching them that very early in the piece by showing them how they can ask themselves internally, their higher self, what is the best way to move forward. And so she's building the trust in the people that she heals for them to develop their own intuition. And really, once you've got to the space where you can trust your own intuition, everything is possible. So she's helping you lean into that by helping you make the decisions about where you want to take the healing and the journey to go. So it's a very clever technique to basically put a plate in front of you with everything that you can choose, and then teach you that your own intuition has the wisdom to help you move forward. I love it. So it's a beautiful healing modality. Now, we've got her email address, which if you feel that this is a fit for you, then you can email her. That is in the show notes. It's also in the description of the show as well. And just have a conversation. And she's offering for our listeners today a free session. So you can book that with her, and we'll include all those details in the show notes in the description. That's exciting. I love it. So not affected by COVID, because here we go. Everything that you're delivering is online. And, I want to know what's next for you. Are you planning on building a bigger community? Are you planning on doing more speaking, podcasts, and online or in person? And what's the next step for your business?
Yeah. I actually haven't been in business for a whole long time, a few months. So I have all kinds of things that I'm hoping to do. I'd like to do some in-person events. more podcasts,
That's
meeting different healers. Yeah, all kinds of things. Yeah.
That's exciting. And we were talking before the show, and Rosemary feels that she could be a really good fit for our Healing Through Love Pamper Day, which will be in her local area. So we're going to have a conversation about that and see how that pans out as well, because it's a beautiful way to pay it forward and hold that frequency for the people that need that, to help them show their self-worth so that they can move to the next level. I love it. I love it. This has been an amazing conversation. I've loved every moment of it. And I just love, before we close, for you just, if you can, what words of wisdom would you like to share with our listeners?
Yeah, I think no matter what you're going through, don't give up. That's what I sort of learned. There are people out there willing to help you, and wisdom is in you. That's what I love about Psych K. Rob Williams that developed it, he says we're really the holders of sacred space as facilitators, and we see our clients as having all the wisdom that's needed. With it, there just to facilitate that wisdom. Really, all the answers is inside them. So I just love that so much. Yeah,
that is so beautiful. Yes, and it's challenging for us. I'm thinking myself back in time when I wasn't in a good place. I didn't think I had the answers, and so I was reaching out to everybody to get the answers. But in fact, the answers are in you, but you need someone to hold that space so that they can literally hold a mirror for you.
right.
And help
Right.
you see that the answers are inside, because this is how you empower people to heal. Because if you can heal through this challenge, you can heal through other challenges as well. And that's the skill set that you need. That, what a beautiful healing modality. That's amazing. I love it.
It is. I love it.
Out of everything that you offer, because there's so many, what's your favorite in all of these offerings, in all of these modalities?
It's hard to have a favorite. I do love Psych K. I just love everything about Psych K. Just the philosophy of holding that sacred space. I just love everything about it. It's a transpersonal approach. So we're allowed to bring the divine in. So, and I love that. I just love everything about that. I really do.
It's so beautiful. I love it. Well, this has been another amazing episode, and I'm looking forward to having further conversations with you, Rosemary, about what it will look like to have a Pamper Day in your area, and looking forward to being in your proximity. You've got a beautiful, cuddly cloud is what it feels like. You know, it's so healing and beautiful. And thank you for bringing your beautiful frequency to today's conversation. And we're looking forward to helping you and moving forward with you. It's been such a pleasure and a privilege. That's a bye from me here at Healing Through Love, Sharlene Lynch, and from Rosemary Kelly. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Healing Through Love. You can get further resources, see the show notes, or simply reach out to us via our website at htlaustralia.org. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to your company next time on the Healing Through Love podcast.